We're doing another live broadcast here, and I'd like to very first say, if you're out there watching, please make this interactive. Leave us a comment. Let me know what's going on, and we'll try to keep things a little bit more interesting. I certainly want to answer any questions anyone has along the way, and the agenda for today's program. What we're going to do is I bought a 4-pack of guitars from Amazon, or they sell on Amazon. I got a deal where I was able to buy 4 of them, and they're supposed to all be identical. I opened one, I shot videos, I uploaded it on Amazon, and then I sold it, right? So I have 3 more, and a couple friends were telling me, hey, if you're going to list and sell these, you should probably open them and make sure that there's nothing wrong with them before you sell them. And I was not planning on doing that, but it made sense. So I thought, you know what, I should do that, and maybe I'll do it on camera. And then I thought, you know what, even better, why don't I do it live? I think Birdman may have suggested that to me, actually. Birdman316, if you go find him on YouTube. We were talking offline, and he said, oh, you ought to video it. You ought to do it live. So that's what I'm doing. I have 3 boxes. I already opened one, and it's been sold, and the videos are already up. The model is from IYV. It's the ILS250SB. So I'm going to bring up a screen share here. We'll share the entire second screen. Here we go. So these are what we will be looking at today. Hopefully, I mean, the boxes are still taped shut, so I'm not actually 100% sure what we're going to see, but in theory, it should be 3 more that are identical and look exactly the same as what you see here. So it is generically kind of a Les Paul shape and a sunburst finish. I think that's what the SB means, because they also have this in a black model. Let's open that in a separate thing here. So the ILS 250 is black paint, not a sunburst paint. So let's see. Hopefully all of these are what they're supposed to be, and it looks like $115 to $120 is what they are, depending on which model, which version, which color scheme you get. Black on the back side, and then either black or sunburst on the front. Les Paul configuration, but 2 P90 pickups. So one in the neck, one in the bridge position, a wrapped tailpiece with a little bit of intonation adjustment that we'll talk about. I'll show you the different ways we can adjust that. What we're going to do is, let me get this off the screen. And first, before we go any further, bear with me for just a moment. I would like to check on the YouTube stream and just make sure that it is there. Yes, it does appear to be. Okay, excellent. Just wanted to check that and make sure. So you never know when the technology is going to let you down. So, all right, why don't we dive in? We'll have 3 of them to open, and then actually I've got a variety of products around here that are waiting to be unboxed and videoed. And if I kind of get on a roll, maybe I'll show you some of the other things that are waiting to have videos made. Maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes. So let me grab one of these real quick. I got all 3 of them sitting beside me here. And here's a little barcode label at the bottom that says ILS 250SB. And this is the way the packages come. Amazon sometimes will just slap a label on the outside of this, because this was a 4-pack. It was a box with 4 of these in it. So it did have an outer box protecting it. So let me flip it upside down, and I'll grab the little stabby thing here, and we'll cut the tape on one side. Open that up. Flip it around here. And, before we get in and see what any of them look like, go ahead. If you're watching this, do me a favor. Let's have some fun with this. Leave a comment right now. How many are going to have damage? Okay, is it 0? Is it 1, 2, or 3? We're going to open 3 guitars. How many of them are going to have some damage on them? And I'm talking about shipping damage. We can also explore whether any of them have any defects that were not caused in shipping. But, you know, tell me how many you think are going to be good. And I mean, as you saw, I just cut the tape on this one. I had 2 more boxes sitting beside me that are taped shut. So here we go. This one did have, I forgot to show you this before I opened it. Close it back up, spin it around. It did have a little ding on the bottom here. So we'll just check out. That looks like the upper bout, but there's a huge piece of styrofoam on the inside. They've done a good job with how they pack these, in my opinion, in that it has a styrofoam neck rest, styrofoam protecting the head from going out the end of the box. And then we get lower, we have the styrofoam protecting the front, and then pieces all the way around it with some reasonable thickness. So it'll take a little bit of abuse. Okay. Get this box out of the way. So you can see a closed-cell foam bag, and then under the, what do you call that, rubber band, are wrapped up in it are some tools. This is 3 sizes of Allen wrenches for the different things that are adjustable. Get a first look at this. I like that they put the anti-corrosion paper over the strings. Steel guitar strings can rust in transit and sitting in warehouses. So I like that they've done that. Let's see here. No issues around the neck. I think that's probably the most likely issue you have when you buy a guitar online, is it shows up with a neck break in shipping, and then probably here where the neck goes in, where it's glued in. That looks good. No cracks or anything. And then down by the strap button, because that sometimes will push into the edge of the box. Honestly, with the way they put the styrofoam sandwich all the way around it, I was going to be surprised if we had any issues. Well, that's kind of a nice looking top too. It's got a little bit of wavy grain pattern. You can see the kind of waves going this way with the grain pattern coming up and down. That is really nice. I like that. Okay, so I think what we're seeing so far, all of these knobs seem to turn okay. That's all right. The switch tip hadn't broken off. That looks good. The cavity covers in the back still have the plastic over them. And I don't see anything on here. Little bit of looks like some tape goop or something back there that it's rubbing off. I thought it was a scratch, but it's rubbing off. All right, so that one looks pretty good. The nut is in place and no obvious defects on that. So, all right, so far it's looking pretty good. Let's try, you know what? Let's try something. Let's get creative. I should have done this ahead of time, but I've got my Flatsense guitar mat up here. So what I'm going to try to do, if I get my chair unstuck, is I'm going to swing an arm out, and it may actually be in front of the camera a little bit here, but I'm going to put a phone on it, and let me get an invitation link off of here, and I will send myself an invitation. Okay, not that. I'm going to come up to schedule. Ah, there we go. Birdman 316 is here. Here I am. The notice didn't work. Oh, sorry to hear about that. Let's see. This is guitar number 1. And it's funny, I told people you're the one who said, hey, you ought to do this live. So You're the reason that we're doing this live right now. And what I was just explaining, if you missed it, is I just had this idea of, oh, why don't I do a downward facing camera over the guitar, and we can look at it and inspect it a little bit further, a little better than holding it up in front of the camera. But to do that, I have to find the invitation and send it to my cell phone. So it's the only way I know how to share the. All right, how do I invite someone else to this? There it is. Add guest, copy link. All right, I'm getting there. So now I just need to drop it in like a shared document so I can get to it from my phone. All right, that's been shared. So now I'll just go find that document on my phone. Get that off the screen here. Yeah, bear with me. I should have thought of this ahead of time, but we will get to showing you this. It's going to look better, I think, when I get the additional stream up. All right, we'll open that stream. Let's see. Once you use your camera and microphone, yes, we are going to do that. Allow Chrome to take pictures and record video. Yeah, I think we need to be able to do that to make this work because this is a web-based tool. So I'm going to mount my camera phone right up here so it'll be facing down. Let's see. There we go. Now we're joining. So I should be able to add that camera in just a second. But I don't see it. Speaker. Oh, got to change it to the back-facing camera. There we go. Join. All right. And then we'll turn the volume off on that. There we go. So we got our downward facing. That's not. Let me come back on. We'll get that off the screen and go back to the chat. Mute. Oh, and the one here does not want to be quiet. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. Love the burst on number one. I think it turned out pretty good. That's a nice one. I cannot get this phone to stop making noise. All right. The volume turned off. I'll put that on silent. Nope, still doing it. I want it to be quiet. All right. I don't know. We'll just move it out of the way and I'll try to ignore it. Hopefully you're not hearing the echo here through my regular microphone. But anyhow, one down. It looks pretty good. Why not just for kicks? Let me put my little Donner clip-on tuner on here. Tune it up, see what it sounds like real quick. You know what? I've got to figure out how to mute this. Unmute, mute. At least put it up out of the way. Okay. Put this on here. All right, camera angle is not ideal for this, but let's see what we can do here. If there's anything anyone wants to talk about, please let me know. We can talk about it. So what I've been doing, this is killing me. I'm going to have to turn this other one. This one just will not shut up. I can hear myself with about a half-second delay. And it is messing with me. Let's see. I stopped the camera. That didn't do it. I think I'm just going to have to leave. Exit. Okay. Well, at least I don't have that echoing on me now. And see if we can go through tuning. Actually, I don't think I want to do that. I think that's going to take too long. Oh, yeah, don't forget to mark them somehow. That, you know what? That's a really good point. So, let me grab some tape. All right. If you want to learn about the little tape reel here, go to our Maker channel. That's it's called Gear Report Maker. All of our other channels are under the Gear Report name. This one is under the Dearly Guitarded name. But I'm going to put a little piece of tape here on the back. And if I can find my Sharpie, there it is. I'm going to write a number 1 on there. So here we go. That was number 1, numero uno. I'm going to hang this one right there. All right. Thoughts, questions, comments? Anyone, please let me know. Before I open the next one, I'm going to put all the stuff back in the box. So, bundle that up, put the rubber bands around it. Because when I'm done, I'm putting everything back in the box. I had one, I used it, I shot my videos for Amazon and sold it to Jonathan, who you may have seen in some of the other videos. If you saw our Boss video, Jonathan did the Monomyth bass pedal and you didn't see his face in that. And then he did the Boss, which one was it? I was hoping he could join us, but he is out with his significant other doing some car shopping today, which I thought I may have to do today after being stranded. I had to drive yesterday about 2.5 hours away. I have a tree farm. I had to meet the forester there to review everything and get some consultation. And the car failed me before I could get home. So the car is actually not here. It's town about an hour and a half away at a Toyota dealer. And who knows when it's going to be. They haven't told me what's wrong with it yet or any of that. Okay, so while I've been stalling here, I pulled up on the other screen since I mentioned Jonathan, who has been contributing here at Gear Report. Let me show you who I'm talking about. There we go. So there's the video where he's talking about the SD1 Wazacraft guitar pedal. If you hadn't seen that yet, go check it out. Leave him a comment. He's new at making video, and he sent me the raw video and I did the editing. So it's kind of a team project on that one. He's got that and then a monomyth. He's about to start doing, he was going to do a blues driver, but he brought it over here last weekend and I plugged it into the Vox AC15 I have sitting beside me. I couldn't get a peep out of it. So I think something in his Boss blues driver pedal failed, unfortunately, and he's had it for a couple decades, I think, so it's not like it was a brand new pedal. Okay, so number one was down. Here's number two, and once again, the tape is sealed. Have not been in this one yet, but you know what, just to keep it interesting, let's look at something that showed up in the last day or so. The Aroma AG10S electric guitar amplifier. I'd like to thank Aroma, I don't know, I'm calling it Aroma. I'd like to thank them for sending this. One of the things that I do is make videos for Amazon. So if you've seen or heard me, you probably heard my voice in Amazon videos where I don't show my face. All I'm showing is the product. And there we go. Brands will often send products to have videos made to be posted on Amazon. So that's how I got this and lots of other things, because I don't just do guitars. So I also run the gearreport.com website, and we review all sorts of stuff that's not guitar related, mostly outdoor stuff. We do some other things as well, but mostly outdoor stuff. And I've been doing that since 2009. So the guitars, especially this Dearly Guitar to Guitar channel, is one of the newer things that we do here. And we've actually got a fairly sizable team of people that contribute among the different YouTube channels and social media, and especially on the Gear Report website with the written content that we produce. So this one is neat because it has a power brick and then your standard kind of modular cable that plugs into it. And let's get a look at the Aroma. What was it called again? The all right, we'll have a look at the Aroma AG10S. It's a little amplifier and not the heaviest one I have felt in this size range. What this is, there's a little tab hanging off the front of it. And I feel like it is probably for pulling that grill off, but I don't want to pull on it too hard till I read the directions. It's got a nice little Tolex around it, and then the plastic kind of bumpers on the corners, a rubberized handle that kind of retracts up here on the top. And on the back side, we have an on-off switch, and then the DC in. It takes a 12-volt, 1.5 amp, and we also have the small plug for a headphone out on the back. So your top controls are going to be, let's see if I can get it so we can both see these. Here's your input. You have a clean and drive on this button, pretty typical. Gain, I'm just going to turn them up to the middle for now. Bass, so bass and treble for EQ, no mid EQ. And then volume. And then on the other side, we have a button for Bluetooth, which I wasn't aware this one was going to have Bluetooth. So that's kind of neat. So anyhow, it is a small little amp. Now, I want to look in the directions real quick and see if it tells me what that little tab on the front is for. It does not mention that. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so I think what we'll do is I'm going to set this aside and we're going to unbox the next one. And maybe when I get done with that unboxing, we'll plug this little amp in and hear what it sounds like. So I'm going to set it off to the side here, get it out of the way and make room for box number 2. All right, once again, the tape has not been cut. So we'll do that. There's one, and then the other one right there. Now, all right, you got to see that one before me, so I'll pull it out. And I can tell it is the same Sunburst, so that's good. They got the color and model right on both of these. A couple of the desiccant packs just fell out. So between the desiccant packs and that rust-proof paper that they put over the strings, I think they're really doing a good job of trying to prevent any kind of degradation or corrosion. When these guitars are making their way from Vietnam, where they're manufactured, to all the way across to the Amazon distribution system, and then making it to whatever warehouse it is that they sit in until they're sold and shipped. That's a lot of ground that they're covering. Let's see if we got another pretty top on this one. It doesn't look too bad. And I'll have to try to find a picture of the first one. I'm not seeing any real waviness in this. We'll look at it a little bit more closely on the desk in a minute, but let's check out for any shipping damage. The neck looks okay on this one, as does the headstock and the bottom. All right. Knobs are all on and moving fine. Three-way switch feels good. Strap buttons look good. Our cavity covers are on. Yeah, all right. Well, that one looks pretty good as well. And these frets, I'm telling you, that first one, the frets were super smooth on the end where they've been rounded over. This, they have been rounded over as well. I think on the bass side, there are a couple that I thought were going to be sharp. They don't actually feel sharp, but they look like they might be. So, all right, we're 2 for 2. We're looking pretty good. And let me see if I can get us back in for the down-facing camera. Okay, we'll do facing back for the camera. That looks good. I'll do join again. Oh, I'll have to just listen to that echo that I cannot get to go away. Let me see if there's another volume setting. Settings. Maybe that'll turn it down. I don't know. It seems intent on echoing no matter what I do. All right, so let me switch cameras up here. Right, back on the if we go back to, oh, that one got washed out. Having lighting issues because I have that other camera sitting up here. Where it sits, actually, I don't feel that. I think that the tiny little bump there is in a spot that it really doesn't, I don't feel it. It doesn't seem to matter at all when I'm playing right up here. Okay. Anyhow, number 2 looks pretty good. All right. We'll hide that. So we're back to 1 and get that camera out of the way. We'll leave again so it stops echoing. There we go. All right. What? I just laid it down on the floor. One thing I've learned is if you don't want something to fall over, just put it on the floor. If it's already laying down, it can't fall over if it's already laying down, right? Okay. Let's see. No breaks, number nice. Number 1 still looks better. I think that the grain pattern on the face of the guitar on number 1 is more interesting. It had like 2 different types of patterns that kind of mixed together a little bit. So yeah, I think number 1 is the best looking one out of those 2. I have to get you one of those phone bracket arms. Yeah. Which is, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I have something that I haven't tried yet. Nope, it's not that. It's in a box that is somewhere right beside my desk. And I think I have 2 of them, actually. Yeah. Two boxes that are labeled as phone holder. And these are other items that were sent to do Amazon videos on. And they're in the queue. I just haven't got to them yet. So I think this would probably be good as, oops, let me get that back. All right. We will rejoin with the downward facing camera. And let's see what these look like. Well, that's nice. Echo. something that's not really great to look at, and then you get something better. All right, we'll just, can we swing that out of the way? There we go. That works. That will be easier to restart again. All right, so I'm going to put these bits in the box for number 2. And let's move on to guitar number 3, the third and final of the IYV ILS 250. Once again, you can see the tape is uncut on both ends. So the third one. And you know what? While I've got you here, let me show you guys one other thing. We'll share the screen. Let's go to screen number 2 and share. And we'll go back to the IYV. Here's what I want to show you. If you go to Amazon and you're looking at a product listing and you scroll up right up here where they have the pictures, sometimes you'll see videos. You may find some of my videos up there. So please click if you ever see them. They'll be in Amazon. Our influencer account is called Gear Report. And the other place you may see videos, where are they? Oh no. This is interesting. I have uploaded videos for this product and there are no videos showing here. So that is something I'm going to have to fix with Amazon. If we look on the Gear Report Amazon influencer store, which you're welcome to do, you can go find us. You can click through our, I'll add it to the description or on the channel description in YouTube, where we happen to be watching it. Let's see. If we do IYV and search for that, you can see we got lots of different IYV guitar models that we've made videos for. There's that old green one. Birdman and I were talking about those this morning in a discussion. I had that a couple years ago. But you can see I've got videos up there for this product. And let's open that. And it's not showing. Isn't that bizarre? I think Amazon is messing with me and has taken that placement away. That is not a good thing, because if we want to get new products in to make reviews, we've got to have a way to monetize our content. And I don't see all those lists refresh. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyhow, you can go find our videos on Amazon as well as the Dearly Guitarded channel. All right, let's open up number 3. I know that's what we're looking at. One of those foam brackets arms. Yeah. Oh, I see. Birdman says he needs one of those overhead arms. I've used this a lot. A lot of the Amazon videos that I shoot are overhead, and these work really well. All right. Let's come down and we'll cut that one. You know what? This is boring. I'm going to get something much better. Just a moment to reach off camera. All right. I got my little miniature sword here. It's actually a Swiss bayonet that is made to affix to a Swiss K31 rifle. And I think it is perfectly appropriate for cutting tape on boxes. Although maybe not as sharp as the other one. There we go. Got to keep things interesting here. All right. Number 3. And this is also the correct paint scheme pattern. So that's good. Every now and then you hear about people opening boxes and they're like, that's not the model I ordered. But it is the correct model here. So let me resheathe the bayonet. These would have been used in the World War II era, by the way. I'd have to go look at the history of them. I don't know if they made these before then, like for World War One, or if this was strictly a World War II vintage. Um, I used to be a gun collector that focused on World War II firearms. I still have a few, but I've kind of gotten out of that. All right, so Allen wrenches, and then we'll get this foam baggie off, and the suspense is killing me. Waiting to see what kind of top we have here. And you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to make an announcement. I'm going to give one of these away. I don't know how yet. I'm not sure when, but over the next week or two, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do it. All right, this is like a really classic looking, I swear that looks like a one-piece top. They have got to be putting, it's got to be a multi-piece body with a veneer, I would think. But that is, there's no curly maple, no flame maple. This one is, but a very, very nice looking standard top. So anyhow, one of these is spoken for. Birdman and I are working, I think, we've worked out a trade. And he's going to get one of these, and I'm going to get a guitar that he has, a Gear It, that's very similar, like a Les Paul Special. So I can make some Amazon videos. cameras. See, I thought we were just going to unbox some guitars, and I actually revealed 2 giveaways. Look at that. That is, if you like plain grain, that is an absolutely beautiful grain, I think. You don't often see where it's got that kind of round section like up there. And then let's compare it. We'll put these 2 side by side. So number 1 here, you can see it's got some of that flame maple or waviness to it, as well as the regular grain versus just regular grain with no waviness. So I think that really kind of comes down to what your preference is. To me, this is by far the most interesting, with the depth and waviness that you see from some of those kind of horizontal. Man, that has got some real 3D depth to it. All right. So, Birdman, you are welcome to come over and we can do that trade. I am without a car until my car is repaired, and that's probably going to be several days from now. So let me know when you want to come over and pick that up. Let's see, anything else we should talk about or do? Why don't we do this? I'm going to put that number 3 out of the way, and let's grab the power supply. Let's see. Weird pattern for weird chap. Yeah, okay. It's okay when you say that about yourself. When someone else says it, that's when you get a little bit concerned, I think. All right, I got the little power supply plugged in. So now we will insert that in the back of the AG10S from Aroma. And how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to do that. And then we'll turn both cameras on. Let's get this right under there. Oh, I think this is going to work. Although it puts the camera arm right in front of my face, but I think you could argue that this is the best I've ever looked on camera. Birdman's mom says he's weird. Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, brother, my mom doesn't say you're weird. We can disregard that my mom's never met you, but all right. So for this demonstration, I'm going to plug my little Flatson's 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitter in there, or receiver rather. The transmitter is here. I was gonna do number 1. Actually, I want to set that aside until I finish tuning it. We'll tune it real quick, and then we'll do a quick listen to both the guitar and to the amplifier. So bear with me for a minute. And this is a good chance to do a plug, by the way. While you have to wait for me to tune this guitar, we can talk about some videos that I just posted. I'm stretching strings here, by the way. This is the first thing I do before I tune a guitar for the first time. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm getting my finger just under the string and very gently pulling it up away from the fretboard. So I'm stretching it a little bit, and I'm starting at the bottom and going all the way up with it, so that hopefully the strings don't stretch too bad when I start tuning and playing. Oh yeah, and that dropped. I had the low E string tuned. You know what? I do not like having that arm in front of me just yet. Let's get that out of the way for a moment. Here, we'll put that up there so I can see myself a little bit. So yeah, I had this tuned to the low string tuned to E. I'm just going to do E standard in this. And after stretching the string, it was on B. So it lost quite a bit of tension. So that's why we stretch them ahead of time, because they're going to stretch and then you're just going to have to retune. So I find it easier to kind of pre-stretch them. I know some people like to play them in, like instead of stretching them, they're like, I'll just play it and retune it and play it and retune it. And I'm actually doing that on a different guitar, but that one is special because it has a little computer board in it and mechanized tuners. Let's see. I'm going past the G here because I'm talking. It's one of the Gibson robot guitars. So I did not stretch those strings in, the strings that were on it. I'm playing it for a little bit because I want it to go out of tune. So then I can shoot a new video where I say, like the one I posted this morning, I needed it to be out of tune so I could post a video showing how the robot tuners work. So I did not want to stretch those strings in. I want it to go out of tune so that I can demonstrate how the robot tuning system works. All right, we are pretty close. This is not perfect, but the little Donner clip-on tuner did a good job. The President 187 just subscribed. That is amazing. I didn't even know we could get a graphic like this on the screen. So that's like a double bonus. We get a subscriber and get to see a new, oh, that's showing the junk on the desk. Here we go. So right now, all right, pardon the phone bracket in front of me, but you can see what we're doing here. We have the FlatSense transmitter. And where did I put the other side of that? Here it is. All right, so I'm going to turn the other side on. And that's linked, so I'll plug it into this guitar. And our tone and volumes are all up. And we're on the neck pickup. All right, gain is straight up. Both of our EQs are straight up. Volume may be a little loud. And we're picking all this up on my little condenser mic that is right here. So it's literally sitting right beside the amp. All right, that's clean. Let me hit the distortion. See if we can get to where you can actually see me doing anything here. And that's not really working to get the playing on camera. Let's see. We'll turn it. Ooh, it does not like. It's wanting to feed back. These little P90s are like 11 inches from the front of the speaker. So that's probably not the greatest idea. It is wanting to feed back. Yeah, let's turn that down. I don't think we need to do any more distorted here. I really like the sound of this. The other one, because we unboxed 3. There was a 4th one that was unboxed and sold already. Microphonic. Well, I mean, to be completely honest, I am literally. Let me move this camera so you can see what we're dealing with. Like I'm playing right in front of the speaker face, and then the microphone is like my. All right, let me get back here. And now my finger, I'm going to touch the microphone. That's how far away it is, like the length of my hand away from the actual face of the speaker. So I don't really blame the P90s for a little bit of feedback when they're literally 10 or 11 inches in front of the speaker itself. So how's that for an impromptu? You know what? I should probably turn that off before I spin it. How is that for an impromptu demo of a brand new amplifier I'd not tried before. Based on the little bit that I heard here, I generally, any kind of amp that is in this size range or smaller, when it comes in, I dread it. Like brands will say, hey, can we send you this? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare because they usually suck. And I'm going to show you a couple. I have a set of Cream P90s. I'll pop in number one. All right, here we go. And that's what he's talking about, number one. So let me know, Birdman, when you want to come get this. I'm going to be around today if you're around, or probably be around tomorrow. I think I'm going to be out in the yard working on the air conditioner or heater this afternoon. So I should be around. Okay, anyhow, all right, what I wanted to show you, yeah, bear with me for a second, and bask in the glow of the Chipson shirt, okay? All right, here's one we're going to talk about. Ewer and then Fesley, and then another Ewer. There's another Fesley up there, and we got a Flatsense. These are all amps that have shown up in the past few months that brands have sent to do the Amazon videos. Let's see here. BA10, FBA10, BA10. I think the Fesley is called FBA10. No, FGA10. If you take them out and look at them, they all look pretty much identical. But I'm telling you, the sound difference is insane. This Flatsense is my favorite. The next one is the Fesley. I would absolutely go for the Fesley before getting either one of these Ewers, the BA10 or the other one says BA10 too. One of them says it is for bass and the other one says it is for guitar. The bass one sounds better for guitar, in my opinion. The Ewer guitar amp, I would not recommend that, to be completely honest. The Ewer bass amp of that BA10 actually sounds okay. It sounds quite a bit like the FGA10 from Fesley. But right now, I'm going to say the Aroma and the Flatsense are my favorite of the recent batch of cheap amps that I've looked at. So I'm going to actually pull this one out and show it to you. Oh, there goes my mic. And I apologize. I could have planned all this better. Look at that. That thing is gorgeous. It is a very nice looking little amp, but it actually sounds pretty good. When we're looking at a size comparison, it's much smaller. The Aroma is a traditional looking amp. And it's got Bluetooth, but it doesn't have a battery. That's the other thing. The Flatsense has a little USB-C plug. So, and it has a 2000 milliamp hour battery built in it. So without plugging it in, you can actually turn it on and use it and play. And I think these two sound pretty similar. And I'm going to have to do some testing because, I mean, you saw I cut the box open. I haven't played these head to head. When I do that, then I'll let y'all know which one I like better. But at this point, I think I'm going to recommend this, my top choice, the Flatsense FBA10, and then maybe the Aroma, and then the Fesley. And I'd probably pass on the Ewer. Even though they look the same, they're not the same. Okay. Very well done. Thank you. For an impromptu, you never know how a live stream is going to go, especially if you hadn't really planned it out. And it's good to hear this one. Okay. So a Fender Champ 100 National Palm for about 185. Yeah, as we were discussing earlier, it's funny. I told you I don't go to pawn shops, but literally yesterday, for the first time in quite some time, I went to a pawn shop and I walked in and they said, "Hey, can we help you? What are you looking for?" And I said, "I am passing through town. Whenever I go through a town, I look to see if anyone has any cool guitar stuff." And he said, "Great. Go through these doors and walk straight back the other end of the room. That's what you're looking for." And they probably had 30 guitars and 15 amps. and there was not a single thing I was interested in. There were maybe a couple things I could have been interested in if the price was right, but they were like 75, 80% of retail for used stuff. And I said, yeah, that's really not interesting to me. I'm not sure which one National Pawn is. I know there are a couple that I've been to around the area that Birdman lives on the other side of town for me. And within our area, there are several. I've yet to find one that impressed me, that I didn't feel like, everything was dirty and nasty and they were charging way too much for it. So maybe I'll go look around though. They had a Fender Champ at that one I went to. It was in down in Fayetteville, where I stopped at one yesterday and was not impressed. Digital model, I think, very clean. Yeah. Man, so many digital amps are sounding decent today. A 2x12. They had a couple customs. I know we did a deal with a custom amp that I sent, a combo that I sent Birdman's way, that he seemed to be pretty happy with. It was a 1x12, pretty compact, but I like the way the speaker in that one sounded. Okay. Any thoughts or questions from anyone? I'm running out of the pre-programmed content. So here's what I'm going to do. We talked about the Gibson robot guitar. Give me just a minute to put some of these amps out of the way. Because again, I didn't plan this part, but I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about it because I like it. I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to put some of these back on the shelf just to get them out of the way and make room on the table. And then we'll put the downward facing camera pointed at the robot guitar and let you guys see how that works. Let's see. Birdman had a comment you can look at real quick. All right, we're going to put this back in. what should be, but is this one working? I apologize if you couldn't hear me. Tried sound, but it's wacky. Bad echo effect. Turn your sound on. Guys, I am sorry. I'm just catching up on these. Okay, well, hopefully it works like this. I am having some issue with a little bit of echo because the camera up here, I can't figure out how to shut it off so it won't make noise. So I'm hearing like a half a second after I talk, I'm hearing it on there. But maybe I turn the other camera back on. We'll go through this one more time. I'll show you what I was doing. The way this works, and get it positioned under here, you pull this up and that puts it in tuning mode. And then when you strum the strings, it goes through and checks each string. And then the motors that are in the back of the tuners, actually, they automatically tune these little, they turn the tuning buttons to bring everything in tune. So you saw that time it had just been done. So I strummed it once, it made one or two little adjustments, and then it showed that it was done and the guitar's in tune. So literally, because it was close already, one strum, and now it was in tune. So, all right, hopefully that got the sound back on. I apologize for that. I've never tried doing two cameras like this before, so this was also kind of a test to see if that would work. But I don't absolutely love the silver blue burst, whatever they call it. All right, I'm going to turn that camera off and swing it out of the way. Yeah, this isn't my. All right, let me turn that off. Get that comment. Yeah, so I apologize for if I was muted there for a while. Nice, thank you, appreciate that. So anyhow, not my absolute favorite color. I think it looks cool. It looks kind of space age, especially for like the early 2000s when they were coming up with this design and then putting it out in 2007. Some neat fun facts about this. It is a studio, so you can see it's like a translucent blue finish, the nitro on it. So what looks right here to be binding, because I've got some studio lights right here shining on it. Without the studio lights, you can't really see this light line that well, but it's a translucent lacquer that's on it. So what you're seeing is the edge of that maple cap is the light color, and then the rest is the mahogany body. Let's see, in the back, you can see the grain through it, and it is a multi-piece body. If you couldn't hear, I can get the studio lights to stop reflecting too bad. Inside the cavity, that's the little computer that runs the robot tuners, and then this is the battery that I absolutely thought was going to be dead because it's almost 20 years old, rechargeable battery. You can order new ones from Tronical in Germany. And actually, I think I still have that website up here. All right, I'm going to close that down. We'll exit that camera and see if I can find tronicaltune.net. I'm going to bring that up on the main screen. Let me get that page ready and then I'll turn that on. tronicaltune.net, and now I can share screen number 2. Screen, entire screen, screen 2, share. There we go. Shop. If we go under shop and go to the Gibson Robot Gen 1, and oh my goodness, the Darkfire, I want one of those. Darkfire and Dusk Tiger are both gorgeous guitars. If you know anyone who has one of those, I am going to start looking for one of those because they are gorgeous. I saw Austin looked at one, I think it was a year or two ago. Trogley, he looked at one And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So these things aren't cheap. 200 bucks a piece for 12 of them. That's 1,200 bucks if you got to replace your power heads new. Let's see. They have the CPU is the part that is on the back of the headstock, and then the little Gen 1 body switch. So I actually had that wrong. I had pointed at the body switch and said that was the computer. They have the they call it the guitar active tunematic bridge, but I'm trying to zoom in on that some more. Look at that. It has a circuit board on the bottom of it, and it has little piezos on the top. Is that like the craziest thing you've ever seen, or what? Like, the technology it went into making these things happen is absolutely insane. And I hope that they have the the stop bar, the tailpiece. I wanted to show that as well, because when we look at the bottom of that, it also has a little circuit board in there. So really, like little PCB right there in the bottom of the stop tailpiece. And it does look wider than a typical stop bar tailpiece. Birdman asks, does it do alt tuning or standard only? It has, you know what? I have the manual up here. I'm going to share that with you guys too. I'll get it to reload. Gibson, I actually sent Gibson an email and said, can you send me a soft copy of the manual? And I sent it to him in the evening. And then the next morning, like pretty early, this was waiting in my inbox. So that was pretty cool. They were very quick getting that to me. I think we're starting on a page in the 40s. So I'm trying to, no, we're not. Here we go. Here's all the different information about everything before this is just regular guitar stuff. They're talking about finish and string changes and all of that. What gauge string to use, that's all Gibson guitar, typical manual stuff. Now we get into the robot guitar portion, and it's, let's see, dynamic runtime algorithm. Like, that is a really fancy sounding description. It has the master control knob that I showed you where I pulled it up and that lit up. Everything's controlled out of that knob. You can pick it up and turn it, and then the little center section you can push down and it clicks, and that's it. You turn it and you click it, and that's all that it does. It has a bunch of different lights built into it. There is a ton of information that is displayed on that knob. It's crazy how complex this thing is. It's really, really super interesting. Even though this is old technology, almost 20 years old at this point. So what we're looking for is if we can figure out how to get into alternate tunings, because you see, like a regular E standard, your E and an E major. I want to see how to get into drop D. So pull the MCK out and turn to the D LED and then see above. Enter by pressing the display once. So that's all I did wrong. I forgot to hit enter. All right, so and I already turned that off. I was gonna show you how to do that, how to get in and drop D. I think that's gonna be a separate video. I'll record and edit a video and publish it on Dearly Guitarded that shows you how to set it into one of the alternate tunings, which I will do a drop D tuning, because that's with my limited skill set, that's what I know how to handle. So I'll put it in drop D and I'll document how we do that from a couple, 2-3 different camera angles. I'm kind of limited on what I can do here live, but anyhow, I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't want to ruin all this stuff that I'm going to film and share specifically about the Gibson robot guitar, but I am afraid, like I'm really afraid at this point, that I'm going to end up having to get the next model, which is Dark Fire, or what do they call it? Dawn Tusk, something like that. I'm afraid that I'm going to end up wanting one of those. And then that's like the second generation. And then the third generation. Let's go back and look at the Tronicle website here. So Tronical's the company that made all the tuning stuff. So if we go back to shop, and then that was the Gen 1, Dark Fire and Dusk Tiger, I think, are the Gen 2. And what you see here is the parts have shrunk. Every part of the system is smaller. Plus, it looks like they have a removable chargeable battery. Oh, that's brilliant. Workaround kit. That's somewhat it makes me wonder a little bit. And you can see the bridge looks different because it doesn't have the post holes coming out the top, and then the stop tail, but it still has little piezos sitting in them. That is really neat looking. And they don't have a picture of the underside of it for this one. Dang it. And then the power heads are significantly smaller and more compact as well. And they have more normal looking tuning keys on them. Tailpiece has got a PCB in it as well. So that's a really neat system. And then you go up. I thought the Dusk Tiger was the same, but that looks like it may be a slightly different system. Maybe. I thought those two were the same. Firebird X, this is the famous one that they ran over with their tractor stuff, which I'll be honest with you, I'm still mad about. Like, these looked amazing to me. They look super interesting. Like, even if they weren't perfect, I would have loved to have had one and played with it. Like, I love the technology, and that would have been amazing. But they had to go run over them with what was it? They ran over it with some sort of heavy equipment. I don't think it was a bulldozer. Firebird X, is that one of the newer ones? No, that's one that's when they ran over. Okay, but then I know what I was thinking. The Mini eTune GeForce. I think that's the newest version, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, all of these look really neat to me, and I'm excited. And now I'm going to be on the lookout. I have thought that these robot guitars were really cool and wanted one for a while. And I spotted this one locally and I probably watched it for a month or two before I saw the guy marked it as pending. And I was like, oh no, I missed the opportunity on that one. And then a couple hours later, I got a notification it was no longer pending. And I thought, okay, this guy's probably going to be pissed off right now because he thought he had it sold and it's not. I'm going to toss him an offer, and either he's going to be fed up and he's going to want to take it just to be rid of it, or he's going to be like, screw you, buddy, because he's in a bad mood. Fortunately, he was in a good mood. And the next day I was able to go get it. And the dude wasn't even going to show up. I sat there and waited for 10, 15 minutes before he showed up, and he said, I'm sorry, man. You wouldn't believe how many people said they were going to come buy it or look at it, and then they didn't show up. So he wasn't even planning on getting there until I said, hey, I'm here. And then he's like, oh, crap. And he got in his car and drove to where it was. So anyhow, that's the story of the Gibson robot guitar. Let me see. Can you read where it says robot guitar up there? Limited edition. And I'd play it for you, but we're not at that point yet. I am documenting things as I go. And the next step is to clean the frets up. And after I get that done, then I'm going to start playing it. And I'll record some of that as well. So, oh my goodness, this live has gone on for almost an hour and a half. Thanks for everyone who's out there. If you hadn't left a comment, please leave a comment. Let us know that you're out there. And thanks for being here. Check out the Dearly Guitarded group on Facebook. That's where we are sharing some of the different content and having some discussions there. We've got a guitar deals group. You know, I'm going to bring that up on the other page because we're coming up on the Black Friday season. So it's a Facebook group. Let me get this pulled up on the other screen. And I'm going to share that screen again so you can see it. So the Dearly Guitarded group on Facebook, here it is. And you can see a link right here in the intro section that will take you to our other group, Budget Guitar Alternatives. And I may alter that title to add the word deal into it at some point, but I'm going in every day or two and adding deals, especially over the next week, as some of the Black Friday sales have started, and they're just going to get more intense to go through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Week. And then anything that hadn't sold during those sales, brands are going to start getting desperate and doing even more sales between then and right up until Christmas. And then stuff that didn't sell will have more sales after Christmas where they're blowing out any inventory. So I think there's going to be tons of deals. I'm going to have a number of really good deals that I'm able to post several times a week. I'm doing deals. Jonathan is going to be putting deals up in this group. Actually, I need to add him as a moderator so he can do that directly. And we should be able to, I mean, if you like saving money, please go sign up for that group, Budget Guitar Alternatives. It's only got 16 members right now because I just created it a couple weeks ago, and it had it up, put some content up, and then invited a few people a week or two ago, and we're getting ready to start pushing. And I'm also going to announce the 2 giveaways that I talked about during this live stream, 1 for a guitar and 2 for a Flatsense multi-effects system, the brand new KE1 Flatsense multi-effects. So I'm going to give away an IYV guitar and a Flatsense multi-effects, and they're going to happen through this group. So you'll need to be subscribed to Dearly Guitar on YouTube, and then at least the Budget Guitar Alternatives group on Facebook if you want to be eligible to win either one of those. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, have fun. Play loud.